Sorry, my hair's just falling out, as always. It's the stress of the blues scale. So here we are. No clickbait today. This is literally how to make your blues licks slightly more exotic. Okay? Let's start with talking about the notes and the chords in the C major scale. We're going straight in, no intro, not messing around. Okay? So I'm going to take the C major scale up at the 8th fret of the E string. If we were playing something in the key of C major and we were using chords 1, 4, and 5, those chords would be C, F, and G. Or we could play them in open position. Now, if we take a look at that G chord, our 5th chord in the key of C, the 3 notes that we play there are G, B, and D. Now that B note, which is our major third in the G chord, is only a semitone below our root, right? It's called a leading tone. It really, really wants to go home. It wants to resolve back to the root note. Just a couple of examples of that 5 chord coming back to the 1 there, so you can see it, you can hear it, you can understand it. Now let's take a look at the C natural minor scale and talk about the 1, 4, and 5 chords there, because most of the time, slow moody blues is in minor, right? It's not really a happy thing. So chord 1 in the key of C minor is C minor. Chord 4, F minor. And chord 5, G minor. Back to the 1 chord. So you get the same root notes because it's 1, 4, and 5 away from C, but the chord harmony changes, 3 minor chords. Now you'll notice there that that G minor doesn't have that same pull. It doesn't create the same tension, so we don't get the same kind of sound resolution when we go from the 5 chord to the 1. Hopefully you've realized that's because that G minor chord has a minor third in it, the note B flat. That's one whole tone below our root note C. So it doesn't create that same tension. And for that reason, you often find that songwriters, composers, even the jam tracks that you'll be playing along to on YouTube, here and there will swap out that minor 5 chord for a major 5 chord or a dominant 5 chord. And because of that leading tone, semitone below the root, it will build that tension and give you the release, make it more dramatic. How many times have you heard this kind of thing? We're using a couple of different chords there, but still had that G dominant 7 in at the bottom, and it created a lot of tension, and then we worked our way back up to the C minor, the root note. shouting your tits off back there. You said you were going to make my licks more exotic. And for the most part of this lesson, you've just spoke about chords. That's because chords are important. We're playing our licks over the top of them. So if we don't know what's going on in the rhythm section, how can we respond? Let's take a look at that C natural minor scale. Root note, major second, minor third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, minor 6, minor 7, then the octave. Now, if you're playing along to, let's say, a YouTube backing track, slow minor blues, or one of your favorite songs, and you figure out or you notice that that minor fifth chord has been changed to a major or a dominant chord, that major third that's now in that chord falls outside of your natural minor scale. So if we're using C minor for this example, and we've then added that G major in, the B note, the major third from that chord, you can see falls outside of our natural minor scale. It's now a major seventh interval. So if I swap that minor 7 for this major 7, B flat for B, it's going to create a new scale. That scale is called C harmonic minor. Here's the 2 octaves of it. Now you should be able to hear that that's already got an exotic quality to it, right? And you now know that whenever the G7 is played in this particular example, or the 5th chord turned major or dominant in whatever key you're playing in, that you can use that scale, add that major 7th interval in, and your licks are going to really reflect the harmonic content of the chord that's being played, and therefore you're going to come up with more interesting, unique phrases. So that was just a quick little noodle. It sounded good. It was exotic. So you can't do me for clickbait. But in the context of a track, it's going to sound even better. When the rhythm section moves to that chord and you respond to it, everyone's going to be like, this person knows exactly what they're doing. That's you. Obviously, you want to move that around to different areas of the fretboard so that you feel like you've got fluency across the neck. What I want you to do now is go away immediately and start practicing. Understand the concept of the leading note, the different intervals from the different chords, swapping the minor 5 chord for a dominant or a major in a minor key. Play your different scales, the major scale, the natural minor scale, and that harmonic minor scale. And then create your own loop or find a backing track on YouTube where that chord exists, and then start improvising. And you'll know that when it goes to G7, for example, if you're in C minor, you play the harmonic minor scale. Yes, it is a major 7th interval above the C, but you can also think of it as playing the major third of the G7 chord. So you're targeting notes specific to that new chord, and your licks will sound exotic and awesome. As always, I have written up this lesson as a PDF with some examples, and if you want that, you can grab it on my Patreon. I would appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, the bell next to it, and leave me a comment. A big fat whopping comment telling me what you liked and what you didn't like, because I read them all and I reply as we know. It's been emotional. It was Gab's birthday last week, so we had a couple of days off, and I broke my neck off at the gym doing an Arnold press. So I've been taking it easy. Just on the liquids. The heavy liquids. Look after yourselves. I'll see you soon.